So I'm just sitting in my car for a few minutes, flipping through this book before I go in the house. I just picked it up at the library. I picked it up for its first chapter on the importance of early intervention, since I'm doing a chat series about early intervention and trying to educate parents with young children about early intervention and why it's so important. And I really just flipped through it and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to buy this without even reading it. I haven't had the pleasure yet to read any of Dr. Grandin's books, and I'm glad this is my first one because I only read the foreword, which really just talks about three most recent questions. She hears a lot. And honestly, I'm already blown away. Like, wow, for real. Obviously I can't read this book to you online because they probably won't let me do that with these copyrights and whatnot. But it really just, uh, eh, one of the things it talked about was ABA therapy. And anybody who knows about ABA therapy knows that if you have a good therapist, it can be a fantastic therapy. If you have a bad therapist, it can be really actually damaging. It can be very damaging to your child if you don't have the right therapist, or if your therapist is forcing them to do, past their sensory overload point, which unfortunately is a lot of the experiences I've heard of. I also have a former student who's absolutely thrived with his ABA therapies. Every child is different. Every child and adult has a different experience. The foreword also really talks about the importance of just parents and grandparents. Anybody can be an effective teacher. You don't have to have a degree to be an effective teacher. But it really talks about what makes a good therapy for nonverbal children, how important it is to make sure if you've got a nonverbal child that you start that intervention early. It talks about stimming. It talks about autistic burnout in adults, which I can relate to some of that, even though I'm not on the spectrum myself. I really can't wait to get into this. It also talks about the eye-opening thing I never thought about, which is since ABA therapy is approved by the government for insurance, some companies and insurance people are making bad use of that and forcing therapies on students that no longer need them, or forcing the wrong kind of therapy on them or whatever. Anyway, I really can't wait to dig into this book, and I hope that if you are an educator, somebody on the spectrum, or a parent with children on the spectrum, or just want some insight into everything, I just can't wait to dig into this book, and I hope you pick it up. And it's not very long, so yay for new books.